wudu'i bishuril kalbi. Chapter of making wudu with the leftover of the dogs. Right? You know, there's a dog now put his mouth in the trough. And now it drank. And now what do you do with the remaining water? So when it comes to not only dogs, but animals of prey, right? Aimar al-Baghdadi is ikhtilaf there. Imam Malik Rahmah say all the animals of prey, sur is park, right? However, when it comes to the sur, I'm going to use the word sur, right? Because it means now the leftover water after they drink from there, right? He's got, when it comes to the khinzirs, the sur, then he's got two calls. One is park and one is now park. Imam Shafi Rahmah says, all the animals of prey left over is park. However, he excludes the khinzir and the dog. Now says all animals of prey, they left over is now park. Only the cat, and that is because of some special reason that is excluded. That is because it comes in and out of the house. And the Hanabila, they've got, when it comes to animals of prey, they've got two calls. One is park and one is non-park, right? So when it comes to the leftover of those dogs, Jamhur, in my salah say that it is napak. Imam Malik Hamay, he says it is park, right? And right. So that's got to do with the leftover of the dogs, right? Right. Then the other ikhtilafi masla here is that how you clean it, right? My salah says that you wash it 7 times. The leftover of the dog, you wash it 7 times. And some riwayat says 8 times. That water, takes the law of their saliva. That's according to Hanafis. It will take the law of their saliva. So their saliva, this is a saliva is napak. The water also now becomes napak, right? Then Imam, and there's one riwayat also says 8. And therefore Imam Ahmad says you wash it 8 times. But because according to Imam Malik Rahmatullah alayhi, he says that the leftover is park. So he says this hukam to wash the utensils 7 times, 8 times, it's not wujuban, it's istihbaban, right? The other imam says wujuban, right? And then the Shafi and the Hanabila, they also say use 1 time sand because that also comes in the riwayats. Ahnaf, obviously, they say that you will wash it just as you wash any other instrument. 3 times is sufficient, right? And the answers they're going to give now here are a few, right? First answer, they say that these riwayats, there's iktirab in the matan, right? Some say 7, some say 8. Both those riwayats are in Sahih Kitabs, right? And then in the riwayat of Abu Hurairah, it's also said you got a choice, right? Then there's other riwayats which says Talasan or Khamsan or Saban, 3 or 5 or 7. Then some Ravis also bring that rubbing with sand and some don't bring. And some say Awlahunna bit turab, the first one with sand, and some say Ukhrahunna bit turab, the last one with sand. And some say Ihdahunna, one of the 7 will be with sand. So that's the first answer, this iftirab, right? Second answer we give here is that the riwayat is carried on istihbab. And therefore we also say it's mustahab to wash it 7 times, right? One riwayat of ours also says it's mustahab, right? Then the famous answer is that all these riwayats are mansukh. And that was a time when the masail at the beginning was very severe against the dogs, when you were allowed to kill them also. But afterwards, you understand, you the masail, it was to get the love of the dogs out of the hearts, right? Thereafter the masail toned down when it came to the dogs, right? So then they became just like any other animal of prey, right? وبقول حدثنا أحمد يونس قال حدثنا زائدة في حديث هشام عن محمد النبي رضي الله عنه النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال طهور إناء أحدكم إذا ولغ فيه الكلب أن يغسل 7 مرات أولاهن بالتراب قال أبو داود وكذلك قال أيوب وحبيب بن شهيد عن محمد بن سيرين. Right. Narrated by from Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he said, the cleansing of the utensil of one of you, when the dog puts his mouth in and drinks from it, it should be washed 7 times. And the first of them with sand, right? And then he says, likewise, Ayyub and Habib ibn Shahid also narrates, right? Uh, so this hadith here, they all come up to Muhammad ibn Sirin. So he's got different students there. The first one was Hisham, and then Musannif mentions another two, Ayyub and Habib ibn Shahid. Just as Hisham narrates from him, the other two also narrate from him. Right. وبه قال حدثنا مسدد قال حدثنا المعتمر بن سليمان وحدثنا محمد بن معين قال حدثنا عمار بن جميع عن ايوب عن محمد عن ابي هريره بمعنى ولم يرفعه وزاد واذا ولغ الهر غسل مره. Right. So they also narrate all from Ayyub, from Muhammad ibn Sirin, from Abu Hurairah, but the same meaning as the hadith of Hisham. However, the two of them don't make it marfu, right? Now, and increases in the end. When the cat drinks from it, then it should be washed 1 time. It should be washed 1 time. Right. So if we look at that particular hadith there, there's a difference between Hisham and Ayyub. Hisham makes this riwayat marfu, and Ayyub makes it mawquf on the Sahabi, right? وبيقول حدثنا موسى بن إسماعيل قال حدثنا أبان الأتار قال حدثنا قتادة أن محمد بن سيرين حدثه عن أبي هريرة أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال إذا ولغ القلب في الإناء فاغسلوه 7 مرات السابعة بالتراب. قال أبو داود وأما أبو صالح وأبو رزين والأعرج ثابت الأحنف وأما ابن منبه وأبو السدي عبد الرحمن رواه عن أبي هريرة ولم يذكروا التراب. And from Abu Hurairah, said Nabi Akram says that when the dog puts his mouth and drinks in the utensil and wash it 7 times, the 7th time on sand. Imam Abu Dawud says, as of Abu Salih and Abu Razin and Araj and Sabil Ahnaf and all these here, they also narrated from Abu Hurairah. However, they do not mention turab. They do not mention sand here, right? So they also narrate this here, and they do not mention the sand. فبيقول حدثنا أحمد بن محمد بن حمد قال حدثنا يحيى بن سعيد عن شعبة قال حدثنا أبو التياء عن مطرف عن ابن مغفل أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم أمر بقتل الكلاب ثم قال ما لهم ولها فرقص في قلب الصيد وفي قلب الغنم وقال إذا ولغ القلب في الإناء فاغسلوه 7 مرار فالثامنة أفروه بالتراب قال أبو داود هكذا قال ابن مغفل. Right, Ibn Mughaffar radiallahu anhu said Nabi Akram ordered with the killing of the dogs. Then he said, what is for them and for it? And he gave permission in the hunting dogs and the shepherd dog. And he said that when the dog puts his mouth and drinks in the utensil, then wash it 7 times, and the 8th time rub it with sand. Imam Abu Rahman says like this, Ibn Mughaffar says, right? Right. Babu Suril Hirrati. The chapter of the leftover of the cat. The dog and the cat, they're both animals of prey. However, they left over, there's difference. One is park, the other one not park, right? Qiyas demands that the leftover the cat should be not park, but because of one reason, and that is that they come in and out of the house, their leftover has been declared as park, right? So Imam Yusuf Rahman says, they leftover is park without karahat. And Tarafain says park with karahat. Right? So they say it is now makruh tanzihi to use the leftover water of the cat. All right. وبيقول حدث عبد الله بن مسلمة عن مالك عن إسحاق بن عبد الله بن أبي طلحة عن حميدة بنت عبيد بن رفاعة عن كبشة بن كعب بن مالك وكانت تحت ابن أبي قتادة أن أبا قتادة دخل فسكت له وضوءا فجاءت هرة فشربت منه فأصغى لها الإناء حتى شربت قالت كبشة كبشة فرآني أنظر إليه فقال تعجبين يا بنت أخي فقلت نعم فقال إن الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم قال إنها ليست بنجس إنها من التوافين عليكم التوافات. Right. That is from Kabsha, the daughter of Ka'b ibn Malik, and she was under the son of Abu Qatada. That Abu Qatada, a father-in-law, right, entered. Then I poured for him wuzu water. Then the cat came. Then he drank from it. Then he tilted the utensil to the cat until he drank. The Kabsha said that he saw me now looking at him. So he said, "Are you amazed, O binti akhi?" So I said, "Yes." So he said, Nabi Akram says, "It is not najis. It is from those animals who come in and out of the house, right?" So just as the khadims, right, they come in and out of the house, and they don't have to do istizan, seek permission every time. Imagine the person is working in the house. Now, every time he needs to come in the house, he needs to knock. So istizan drops on from them. Obviously, the private room is different. But now the house itself, those people who work, they can come in and out without istizan. So likewise, the cats are the same. They come in and out of the houses. You understand it? Huh? Yeah, so because now, just as istizan dropped off from the khadims, the najasat of their leftover now dropped off. You understand it? Right. Right. So what we say here now, we look at the riwayats, right? The riwayat here says, there are some riwayats which indicate to the fact that it's najis, right? So what we say, فَنَزَلْنَا مِنَ الْقَوْلِ بِنَجَاسَتِهَا إِلَى الْقَوْلِ بِالْكَرَاهَةِ. So now because there's riwayats to show that it is pak, and there's riwayats to show that it is nafa. So what we say, we bring it down to karahate tanzihi. You understand? That's what now Tarfain is doing, right? Right. وبه قال حدثنا عبد الله بن مسلمة قال حدثنا عبد العزيز عن داود بن صالح بن دينار التماري عن أمه أن مولاتها أرسلتها بهريسة إلى عائشة رضي الله عنها فوجدتها تصلي فأشارت إلي أن أنضعيها فجاءت هرة فأكلت منها فلما صرفت أكلت من حيث أكلت الهرة فقالت إن الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم قال إنها ليست بنجس إنها من الطوافين عليكم إنها من الطوافين عليكم وقد رأيت الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم يتوضأ بفضلها. All right, uh, from his mother, right? That her master, a female master, sent her what harisa, the type of food, right? What like a broth with meat pieces, right? To Aisha radiallahu, it's a sunnah food. To Aisha radiallahu, and she found reciting salah, and she indicated to me that leave it down. Then the cat came, then it ate from the food. Then when it turned away, she ate from where the cat ate. So she said, Nabi Akram said, it is not najis. It is from those who come in and out upon you. And I saw Nabi Akram making wuzu what its surplus. He made wuzu what its surplus. Right. Babul wudu'i bifadli tuhuril marati. The chapter of wuzu with the leftover water of the woman. Right. So there's three scenarios here, right? One is the man and the woman uses the water together from the trough. She's using water, you that side, you using water, right? The second is the man uses the water first, the woman uses the water second. So what do you mean use the water? Now you take water and you use the water, you're taking from the trough and you're making wuzu outside the trough, obviously. Now you finish. Now there's still water left there in the trough. Now the woman comes in second and she uses that leftover water. And the third is the woman uses the water first and the man uses the water second. So when it comes to the first two, there's no ikhtilaf that it is permissible. Right? The third situation, the Imam Ahmad and Dawood Zahiri says, is not permissible. Jamhur ulama says that even if the woman used it first, then the man used the leftover water, it is still permissible. Right. قال حدثنا مسدد قال حدثنا يحيى عن سفيان قال حدثني منصور بن ابراهيم عن الاسود عن عائشه رضي الله عنها قالت كنت اغتسل انا ورسول الله من اناء واحد ونحن جنبان And Imam Aisha radiallahu anha said that I and Nabi Akram used to take a ghusl from one bucket whilst we both were in halat janabat. Right. Next hadith. وبه قال حدثنا عبد الله بن محمد النفيلي قال حدثنا وكيع عن أسامة بن زيد عن ابن خربوزة عن أم سبية الجهنية أنها قالت اطلبت يدي ويد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم في الوضوء من إناء واحد. Juhaniya says that my hand and Nabi Akram would go up, would differ, right, in wuzu from one utensil. So in other words, what she's saying, I was using and he was also using. So this also here shows it's permissible. But the problem here with this hadith is Juhaniya, or rather what is Sabiya, right? Sabiya, she had no mahramiyat, ta'alluq, with Nabi Karim. There was no mahram relationship. So how were they making a wuzu from one? So some say the answer to this was that it was before hijab. But then they say that that answer won't be correct because when you make wuzu, even before hijab, you still couldn't look at the arms. You could look at the face, yeah, but not the arms, right? So rather it is said that this was after hijab, but there was some parda between them, right? Or you say that they were standing not facing one another, or you say that they were made wuzu from one utensil, but at different times. At different times, right. فبيقول حدثنا عبد الله بن مسلمة عن مالك عن نافع نحو وحدثنا مسدد قال حدثنا عمرو بن ايوب عن نافع عن ابن عمر رضي الله عنه قال كان الرجال والنساء يتوضؤون في زمان رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال مسدد من الإناء الواحد جميعا. Right, narrated from Ibn Umar radiallahu anhu said that men and women used to make wuzu in the time of Nabi Akram. Musaddad says from one utensil together. Right. So when it comes here, the word jamian, right? So what it means here, it doesn't mean ijtima fil waqt. Rather, it means ijtima fil ina. Together, not at one time. They were making a ghusl, or what were they making? Wuzu or ghusl? Yatawadda'una. They were making wuzu, but not at one time. Yes, they were making from one utensil, but not at one time. Qala musaddad, right. Qala musaddad min al-ina'il wahidi jamin, right. So Musannif Rahmanullah says here, he's got two start here. One is Abdullah ibn Maslama and one is Musaddad. Abdullah ibn Maslama was a Qali Jalu Nisai Tawaddun fi Zaman Rasul Jami'an. He only got Jami'an there. Musaddad's riwayat, he got Minal Idal fil Wahidi. Jami'an and Minal Ina'il Wahidi, right. So Jami'an is in the riwayat of both. Right. So in all these hadiths, we find that the Multaqas Sanadain is Nafi', the student of Ibn Umar radiallahu anhu, right. Babun Nahi an Zalika. Did we finish it already? No. فبيقول حدثنا مسدد قال حدثنا يحيى بن عبيد الله قال حدثنا ابن عبد الله بن عمر قال كنا نتوضا نحن والنساء ولا عهد الرسول من إناء واحد ندلي فيه أيدينا. Narrated from Abdullah ibn Umar, he said, we used to make wuzu, us and the woman, in the time of Nabi Karim, from one utensil, we would put our hands in it, right? So this also shows that it's all permissible. Now the next chapter comes Babun Nahi and Zalika, the chapter of the prohibition from that, right? So this is now obviously Imam Ahmad's dalil, right? So now there is a clash of the riwayat, right? Jawaz and Adame Jawaz, right? So what? How do you make tarjih? All right. So maybe let's first do the hadith, then we do the reasonings. وبيقول حدثنا أحمد يونس قال حدثنا زهير عن داود بن عبد الله وحدثنا مسدد قال حدثنا أبو عوانة عن داود بن عبد الله بن حميد الحميري قال لقيت رجلا صاحب النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم 4 سنين كما صاحب أبو هريرة رجل قال نهى الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم أن تغتسل المرأة بفضل الرجل أو يغتسل الرجل بفضل المرأة زال مسدد وليغترفا جميعا. They said that I met a man who has accompanied Nabi Akram some 4 years, just as Abu Hurairah accompanied him. He said Nabi Akram prohibited that a woman makes ghusl with the leftover of the man, or a man makes ghusl with the leftover of a woman. In Musaddad, say increase, and they should both scoop together. وبيقول حدثنا ابن بشار قال حدثنا أبو داود يعني الطيالسي قال حدثنا شعبة عن عاصم عن أبي حاجب لحق بن عمرو وهو الأقرع أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يتودع الرجل بفضل طهول مرأته. He said that Nabi Akram prohibited that the man must make wuzu with the leftover of the water of the woman. Right. So now there's a clash here now. So the Jamhur says now, they say the riwayats which show permissibility are more sahih. Right. And therefore these riwayats of Hazrat Aisha, Hazrat Maimuna, Hazrat Salma, this is Sahih Muslim in other kitabs. Right. And then the riwayats, these are the riwayats here now, which prohibits that. Imam Bukhari and Bayhaqi have declared it as weak. Right. Right. That's one answer. The other answer, you make jama' baina riwayatain, and you say, this is carried upon nahi tanzihi. In other words, it's makruh tanzihi for the man to use the leftover of the leftover water of the woman. Right. Or the other answer they say is al-ma'ul mutasakitu min al-a'dha'i. The water which it drops from the lumps, that is used water. Water which drops from the lumps is already used water. And we already mentioned, I think we did use water, we said, you understand, you can't use for wuzu. Right. And the other answer they say, you give it that this is now carried on when there's you're going to use it with a strange woman, and therefore there is fear of fitna, right? And another answer they say that the riwayat of prohibition had been made mansukh and abrogated. And this can be understood from the hadith of Hazrat Maimuna radiallahu anha, that she was telling Nabi Akram that, look, I took my ghusl of janabat from here now. In other words, according to her, you can't use this water now. So Nabi Akram said, Innal ma'a la yujnib. The water doesn't become the state of janabat, right? So in other words, the water doesn't become used like that. So, which means initially that was the masla, that the man would not use the what's the name? Right, the leftover of the woman. Right, then here now you get another masla when you go to drink now. The fuqaha say the leftover of a woman drank from the glass now. She left half glass there. It's makruh for the man to drink from there. The leftover of the man, it's not makruh for the woman to drink from there, but the condition there's no fear of fitna. Right? You got that masla there. Right. Then we got the initiative riwayat al-Hakam bin Amr wa huwa al-Aqra. So they say, normally you'd have thought now that Aqra is the title of Hakam, right? But here, contrary to what is normal, Aqra is actually the title of Amr, of Umar here. Oh, Amr, his name's Amr, Hakam bin Amr, right? Huwa al-Aqra. You understand it? Aqra is actually Amr's title, right? Babul Wudu'i. Yeah, strange woman. Strange woman. She drink first, then you shouldn't drink second. She left half glass now. Don't drink the remainder. You understand? Makruh. Babul wudu'i bima'il bahri. The chapter of wuzu with the water of the ocean. The doubt is created here. Look, in the rivers and the oceans, there are lots of najasat goes in there and washed into there, especially on the shore, right? And then also there's lots of animals that die in there. You understand it? And therefore, that doubt is created that the water could be najis, right? Because حدثنا عبد الله بن مسلمة عن مالك عن صفوان بن سليمان عن سعيد بن سلمة من آل بن أرزق قال إن المغيرة بن أبي بردة وهم بني عبد الدار أخبروا أنه سمع أبا هريرة يقول سأل رجل رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم فقال يا رسول الله إنا نركب البحر ونحمل معنا القليل من الماء فإن تودعنا به يأتشنا أفنتودع بماء البحر فقال رسول الله هو الطهور ماؤه الحل ميتته. Right. So a man says that he heard Abu Hurairah saying that a man asked Nabi Karim some, and he said to Nabi Karim, we travel on the sea and we carry with us little bit of food. Then if we make wuzu, a little bit of water. So you make wuzu with the water, we will become thirsty. Should we make wuzu with the water of the ocean? So Nabi Karim says, its water is spark and it's carrion. it's dead is halal or pak, right? Let's see the time. Okay. Okay, let's do a little bit here. Right. In one riwayat it says here that inna narkabu bahra lisaid. They go for fishing, right? Or whatever other thing they're gonna hunt in the ocean. So it shows that to travel on the ocean for the sake of hunting, for fishing in it, is permissible. Right. Now here Nabi Karim Sallallahu could have just said yes. In other words, you can use it. You can use it for. So then the doubt will be created that okay, so only when the water is little, then you can use the water of the ocean for wuzu. So rather than Nabi Akram gave such an answer to show the other masail also attached to it. You understand it? No, Nabi Akram by him saying, he could have just said, yes, you can. The person asked, we got little water to drink. If we're going to make wuzu with that water, we're going to be thirsty. So he could have said, yes, you can. If he said, yes, you can, that means only when you got little water, then you can make wuzu with Ma'ul Bahar. But here he gives a full answer to show that you can at any time, even if you got lots of water, you can always still make wuzu with Ma'ul Bahar. Right. So Ahnaf obviously they say now because here it shows that Maitatul Bahr is halal. So we say here halal in the meaning of pak. You understand it? So all these animals, if they die, they're not going to make you napa, right? So that's masla is mukhtalaf fi, right? That Hanafiya, they say that uhillat lana al-maitatan, right? Only two dead things are halal for us, samakul al-jarad, fish and walaukas. So therefore, they say only fish you can have. Jamhur says all animals, right? Permissible. However, a few exceptions. Malikiya says the khinzir of the bahr, right? And he says when it comes to the khinzir, he's got three calls: hillat, hurmat, and tawakkuf, right? And Hanabila says besides three, the crocodile, the frog, and the swordfish. And the Shafi'ah says he's got three calls. He says besides one, the Asaf call, he said besides the frog, all the other fish you can eat. And the other call is also got that only you can only eat fish. And the third call of the Shafi'as is whatever is ma'kulul laham in the land will be ma'kulul, can be ma'kul in the bahar. You understand it? Now, what is the sheep of the sea? What is the goat of the sea? What is the khinzir of the sea? That we have to find out, right? There is a Kitabul Hayawanat, we have to check it there. We say this hadith is not also practiced on its umum, because even the old Aimai Salas, they're also making istisna from there. So they can't just use this hadith here, right? And when I say, what does hadith actually refers to? Is it the muhrim, right? To refer that the muhrim, just as he can't hunt for Sayyidul Bar, he can hunt for Sayyidul Bahar. You understand it? So nevertheless, when it comes to the water of the ocean, then some Sahaba, Abdullah ibn Umar, it was makruh according to him. Why? Because of this hadith, لا يقرب بحر إلا حاج أو معتمر أو غاز في سبيل الله فإن تحت البر نارا أو تحت النار بحرا. That nobody should travel on the ocean except the haji or the mu'tamir or the ghazi fi sabilillah, because beneath the ocean there is a fire, or beneath the fire there is an ocean. And this can be also in its hakikat, because we must know the time Qiyamah comes, what happened? They say that وَإِذَا الْبِحَارُ فُجِّرَتْ, the ocean will be full of flame, full of fire. The jinnat will run there, and they will also find that the ocean is in flames. That's the time Qiyamah is now happening. All right. So you get now the two riwayats. One riwayat saying that you can't travel except with us here, right? And the other riwayat says, Inna narkabul bahr li-sayd. So what is the tadbiq? They say that the riwayat of this other riwayat is, they say is da'if, extremely weak, where you can't travel. Leave it till there.